Welcome back to Voice on the Corner. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all safe. Now, news coming in from Anthony Joshua's camp. He has a new trainer. Now, Pete, tell us a bit about this trainer.
Firstly, I'd like to say, what's happening, everyone? Thanks for keep supporting. Please subscribe, share, and tell your friends. So Joshua's new trainer, we have got Derek James. Looks like he's happy with Derek James now. Looks like he's going to up sticks and move his camps to the States. Maybe even move to the States. I don't know. See how it goes.
Yeah.
Derek James, tell you a little bit about him. Former fighter himself, super middleweight. Good fighter. You know, he obviously trains names, big names. Errol Spence. Don't get much bigger than that. You know, Jamel Charlo. So Joshua, linking up with him, I think is a very good move. I'd like to see certain things being done with Joshua. Do I think Joshua can still grow as a fighter? Yes, I do. He has been to the pinnacle of being a world champion. But I think there's certain basic things that if they work on, I believe that Joshua and Derek James could be the man to do this and could change him around a lot. Again, back to the fundamentals and the foundation. Like I say, his feet are not in the right position. A little bit more soft kneed. Tighten the defence up a little bit. And when I mean tighten the defence up, I don't mean stand bolt upright with his chin in the air like he just don't care. I mean, drop his knees a little bit, relax a little bit, and just cup guard, a little bit more of a cup guard. Joshua could still be a force for me in that division. And I think it's a very, very good move. But we're only going to see when he comes back with his comeback fight.
How much work do you think he needs mentally? Because obviously there's going to be a physical side of the training, there's going to be the technical side of the training. But how much work mentally does Anthony Joshua need?
He needs just a steady, relaxed, camp for me. Someone that can say something to him and he's going to do it. Mentally, he does need work mentally, without a doubt, because boxing for me is 90% mental and 10% physical. I think Joshua's got it the wrong way around the way he was going on. I'm just going to be humble and go back to the gym on Monday. Listen, Joshua trains harder than anybody. He trains like a lunatic. And the problem is, for me, the people that he had around him after Rob McCracken, it was just, let's work on this, let's work on that, let's get you fitter than what you've ever been before. But I disagree with that. I think it's about pulling them back to basics, back to simple regimes, old school regimes. And I think a lot of his training has been worked on sports science and all that sort of stuff. And for me, Joshua, I'd like to bring him back to the nitty gritty, practicing a lot more in sparring and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot that Joshua can work on and definitely improve as a fighter. Because I think a lot of people are easy enough to say and write him off, oh, he's found his level and all that now. But when you've got someone leading you who really ain't got no experience, for me, you're not really going to learn anything, But like I say, he seems comfortable now. We're just all going to see him. We come April the 1st. It's easy enough to write somebody off. I was written off plenty of times in my career, but you can write someone off. But do you know what? If you get it right in there and everything clicks, I believe you can turn the corner. And I believe he can do that if he don't jump ship again and he's happy with his trainer, teacher, if you want to call it a teacher. It must be a teacher if he's training the likes of Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo. And I'm not saying, listen, they're magnificent fighters, they're top fighters. And a trainer don't make a fighter makes a trainer. That's my opinion. Yeah, you need to bond with that trainer. But I believe the fighter makes the trainer. That's not a magic sponge, and that's not magic water. That's a sponge and water, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I say, Errol Spence, Jamel Charlo had great groundings as amateurs. And so did Joshua. But I felt he was walking into a lot of mistakes, making a lot of mistakes in training. But if you ain't got the right person watching it, I picked up on loads of mistakes he made. He's got to learn how to hold properly. He's got to learn when it's time to tie up, when you want to have a little rest, because they say there's no hiding places in there, but there's millions of hiding places in there. So, you know, we will see. We will see. The fight's on April the 1st, so it could be April Fools. You know what I mean? Who's to know? You know, so
right.
The opponent's been announced, and so.
Well, let's get on to that. The opponent. It looks like he's going to be fighting Australian southpaw Dempsey McKean, 6'6", 22-0 with 14 knockouts. Now I'm looking at his record now on BoxRec. He doesn't have a lot of notable wins. Now, for me, the way I see this, I think this is a fight just to get Anthony Joshua's confidence back, just to get him a win and get his confidence back. I don't know. How do you see that?
I think it's hard when you're in a spotlight like Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean? Because he blew to fame, didn't he? Let's be honest. He blew to fame. You know, I keep saying it. I know it sounds mad, but he's still a novice, in my opinion, with certain things, you know. Like I say, with his feet, you know, his defence, the way, you know, he don't know how to hold people properly. He holds around the back of the neck instead of holding around the back of the elbows, which I hope Derek James picks up on him. So I think he can go back to these learning fights. And I think he's a big enough product now as well that he will still sell. He's still a massive product that will sell. I've watched him, Dempsey. I've watched him. He's now with Tony Sims, which is a very, very interesting thing, because Tony Sims used to work with Anthony Joshua. So
really?
He will know Anthony Joshua. He used to work with Anthony Joshua, with McCracken. I thought that was a great team, Tony Sims and Rob McCracken, but things change, and, you know, people blow down people's heroes in boxing. But what can I say? You know, he's 22-0. He's never lost. I always say records are for DJs, but Joshua is on a confidence downer at the moment. Like you say, is it a building? But I've watched a bit of Dempsey. You know, he's quite a clever southpaw. He's southpaw. He's got fast hands. He don't look like a big puncher, but he's got fast hands. He moves all right. So it will give Joshua a few rounds to think. You know, it give him a few rounds of thinking. But it's a good fight for him to come back with. I'm not going to put this fight down, because we all want to build the fight, the big fight, further down the line, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. So if he comes back with a few wins and shows his improvements, there's credibility there to fight Tyson Fury. At the moment, you know, we've got boxing fans and people saying we want to see Joshua Fury. I don't want to see that at the moment. I want to see Usyk versus Fury, because he's beat Joshua twice.
Joshua needs a lot of work before that fight can be properly built up.
Yeah, without a doubt. And let's get him built up. Let's see the improvements. And if we start seeing improvements, then people might start swaying either way with that fight.
Yes.
It's a foregone conclusion at the moment. You know, Fury knocks out Joshua. It's a foregone conclusion.
Are we building Anthony Joshua up as a pure boxer, or are we building him up as a killer? Because he used to be a killer. Then ever since that I think since the second Andy Ruiz fight, we've seen him revert more to, you know, pure boxing, and he tried to outbox Usyk twice. So he clearly wants to be a pure boxer.
Well,
do you
think
basically that's what we're building up to?
Yeah, but you basically just said it there. You know, the negative approach to the second fight for the Ruiz fight. Not negative. It was a boxing masterclass to a degree. Yeah, because Ruiz is small. You know, he's not that quick on his feet. Joshua moved his feet and used his boxing. But the difference is, when you're fighting, for me, the top 3 best boxers in the world in Alexander Usyk, yeah, you're not going to outbox him. And the tactics were still the same. And for me, I don't know what the corner was seeing. Even the corner was saying that they had Joshua ahead, you know, and all that sort of stuff. But it's gone now. That's past us now, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would bring him back more to the come forward, but build a defence. You know, build a defence. For me, what Joshua should have learned early on is to have a defence with that attacking style. He still never had a defence because his chin was still in the air. So we see it in the Dillian White fight. Dillian White had him hurt. You know, he's been hurt in a few fights. But Joshua's a great finisher as well. So I'd like to see him relax more, soften his knees. And what I mean by soften his knees, if your knees are bolt upright and you get it on the chin, you're going to go over. because you're just like a tower block. You know what I mean? But remember, tower blocks sit on stabilizers as well. So tower blocks move. The difference is he's not on stabilizers. His stabilizers will be if he softens his knees more and relaxes a little bit more, drops his shoulders a little bit more, and all that sort of stuff. And then all he does then is drops his chin into his shoulder. It's very, very simple, basic stuff. And but it's got to be repetition after repetition. Not 500 punch combinations, mad combinations, and all that sort of stuff. Joshua's a 1-2 man, a double jab right hand man. You know, 1, 2, 3 at the most. That's it. He don't need to do no more than that. But when we look at the best fighters in the world, Canelo's of the world, Mayweather's of the world. You know, I'm only naming 2 here. There's a lot of good fighters out there, but they keep things very, very simple. You get the odd fighter that can put the shots together, but a lot of fighters is simple and methodical. And that's the basics. And that's the way, for me, I think Anthony Joshua needs to be trained. Pull away from the weights a little bit. You know, don't look like a bodybuilder. You know, you don't need to look like a bodybuilder. Lean him up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Relax him up a little bit. And, you know, like I say, and a bit of mental work. Yeah, I definitely think, you know, a hypnotist or something like that would definitely help in Joshua's camp.
A hypnotist?
Hypnotist. Because he's never got over the Ruiz fight, has he? He's never got over that because it's shown in all his fights since. You know?
Yeah. Well, okay, let's have a look into the future. Let's say he beats this lad very comfortably. What's the next fight? Is it Dillian White, or does he need another smaller fight?
No, I think he can fight Dillian White in the next fight back because I think, you know, Dillian White is not the fighter he was.
No,
Dillian
wasn't
White
impressive against Jermaine Franklin.
No, he's really on the slide now. I mean, you know, we're going to use Dillian White because Dillian White's more of a name in the UK and it's more sellable. But, you know, Jermaine Franklin's probably a better fight for Joshua, in my opinion. I think he'd learn more from the Jermaine Franklin fight. He's a little bit more fresher. I think he knocks Dillian White out inside 5-6 rounds now. I think, you know, he's at the end of his career, but he wants, you know, another payday for Dillian White. You know, he's worked hard, he's had some wars, so good luck to Dillian White as well. But I think it's great that he's got a lot of time with his trainer. April the 1st, he ain't got 6 weeks with his trainer like he did with Garcia. He's got a lot of time with his trainer. He's got 4 months: January, February, March, April. 3 months, three clean months. I know he's been working with him already. So basics and fundamentals. Will we see a different Anthony Joshua? But what I will say to you is, if I don't see a different Anthony Joshua and the feet are still in the same place, maybe no one can teach him nothing.
No, so it's a lost cause if that's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, I see this fight making him think for a little while, but I think Joshua will get him out of there, you know. And but it's a good learning fight. It's a good learning fight, and it sounds crazy because he's been at the top level, but he's still a novice compared to Tyson Fury, in my opinion. You know, he only started boxing. He started boxing very late in his career as well. So Tyson was a baby when he started boxing. So Tyson's got a lot more experience than him. Although Tyson was still amateur. No, he weren't amateur. But when Joshua became world champion, Tyson was still really down in the packing order. But it shows that Tyson has ground them fundamentals and them foundations into it. Tyson's a very, very simple fighter. Like I say, good foundation. But Tyson gets away with a lot as well because of his size. He definitely gets away with a lot what other fighters wouldn't do.
Are we building up to a fight with Tyson Fury, or are we building up for a fight with Deontay Wilder?
Now, Fury's the fight that everyone wants to see. So if we see improvement within the next 2 or 3 fights with Joshua dramatically, the fight sells. But if we don't,
people would rather see him against Wilder.
What's that?
I think right now people would rather see him against Wilder. I think that's a better fight. And I think a lot of people think that's a better fight because everyone knows Fury's going to beat him. Yeah, but
you can see it's a better. You can say it's a better fight, but it's a business opportunity, and it's how much money they're both going to make. And the thing is, if he comes through these next 2 or 3 fights and shows massive improvement, people will start believing in him again. Because everybody thought he was going to knock Fury out. Oh, he knocks Fury out. I never thought that because I see what the what his downfall was. What a lot of his downfall is. Do you know what I mean? So listen,
people aren't going to say, "Oh, he's got a chance against Fury if he beats this guy." I mean, let's go.
no,
Honestly,
if he beats, if I didn't say that, I said, but if he goes and has another 3 fights,
who are those 3 fights though?
well, if he goes and demolishes this guy next year, shows a different style, yeah. Then goes and demolishes Dillian White and does him inside 6 rounds. People are going to believe that he can beat Fury.
I don't know. I think even if he did that, I'll still.
But it depends what improvements are there, though, Jack. It depends what improvements are there. If we see massive improvement in the first fight, yeah, and then we see even bigger improvement in the second fight, who's to say we can't see even bigger improvement in the third fight?
But if he's improving as a pure boxer, I don't matter how good he gets. I don't think he's going to beat Fury. I think if he was.
Have you listened to what I've said? I said you've got to bring him back to an attacking fighter, but build a defense. But build a defense.
Think that'll happen though.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
At this moment in time, he don't beat Fury, and for me that fight ain't big enough. But it is big enough still because he's a big name, so it will still sell. It don't matter. Listen, Fury Chisora sold. Fury White sold. So Fury Joshua is 100% going to sell, irrelevant of what people think.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. No, sorry, no. You are right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's irrelevant of what people think. But, you know, it's only time we see. Time will tell. Time will tell. But for me, he's made the right decision to move out to the States, move away from pounding the roads in Finchley, which he was comfortable doing. He was sleeping in silk sheets. At the end of the day, you know, he always trained hard. I'm not taking that away from him. But let's get him out of them silk sheets, get him out to America, and see if they can put him back to basics. Yeah. Do I think he's had the greatest basics from the start? I don't know. I think he was making a lot of mistakes. So I think if they can drill certain things into Joshua, I think there'll be a big difference. Yeah. Am I saying he beats Fury if he comes on 100%? I'm not saying that. No. But who's to say? Who's to say? We never know. So April the 1st, will it be April Fools or will Joshua absolutely have improved under Derek James? Yeah. So,
brilliant. Yeah.
We'll leave it there. Shout out to Terrace Cult Clothing.
Yeah.
Repping my hat. Thanks for the support. Their link will be below if you want to get any gear off them. And we've got Global Green CBD, the best CBD on the market. That's the top and bottom of it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Appreciate it.